got to keep that stuff to yourself.
Boy, that's a good point, Braden. I haven't gone on a romantic date with someone prior. I mean, I've been married since 2001.
So you're comfortable with your wife, right? You
right.
Like, you know, she deals with your crap all the time.
So I'm not even thinking about shareables and the pitfalls inherent in shareables.
This is the anxiety of dating.
You could
like you're being judged on things like that.
You could do the shareables with people you know. You can't do the shareables with people you're just meeting.
Like if I'm with like my best girlfriends,
who cares?
We're probably doing whatever. I don't think we even think about it.
That's it. Because I'm just, I'm curious because we've learned even from last week, you're a bit of a germaphobe. I'm a bit of a germaphobe.
I think we all are in here.
So is that a barrier for entry for you?
Oh yeah.
On
a first date.
First date deal breaker.
Oh yeah. Any kind of something like that.
Like what do you need? What are you looking for? Are you looking for someone buttoned up, like really kind of conservative in germ distribution? If someone is Mr. Happy Friendly, like
I'm looking, are you rude to staffers?
Okay.
Are you rude to like waiters and waitresses? Are you, and I'm looking, are you just, it's usually it's a feel of like, because you got to think someone's doing that to you too, right? You wouldn't want to be judged on like every single tiny move because you're kind of nervous on a first date and things like that.
Yeah.
But there are probably some, you can usually spot trends. You like trends, right? Like people, we all like trends. Like, hey, he kind of sneezed into his hands and then put him in a bowl or I don't know, something like that. Like,
gross.
Something like that, right?
Absolutely not.
So does this automatically, and see, the chat's onto the same thinking that I am. Does this automatically exclude a Mexican restaurant for a first date? Because Mexican restaurant, you're going to sit down, boom, fresh chips and salsa are going to be put directly in front of you for a dipping catastrophe. Potentially.
Are we talking about not sharing the salsa or something?
No, we're talking about a chance for a double dip there. You might be nervously talking and you go back in.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to rephrase that too. This is like first couple dates material, right? Because that's kind of where we're going for. Oh, I got to ask Annie this question because the single dudes that I know always debate with each other of what is a good place for a first date. And there's one kid on my softball team, bless his heart. He tries very hard. His name is Cody. I pump him up all the time. Got to build the confidence. But he gets so much crap for like the coffee dates he does, which I don't think is like a big deal to like get to know somebody over a cup of coffee or something like that. But he gets crushed. I mean, he gets crushed.
What's the matter with a coffee
point
date?
that he's up. So I gotta know, Annie, give me 3 to 5 like just kind of places that are acceptable
1 to 3
for a first date. So Cody can write it down.
I can write it down.
For myself.
Should preface that by saying I'm weirdo.
Right.
Also, by the way, someone's asking in the chat if someone would have to not be a meat eater to go on a date with me. No, I don't care if you eat meat. You do you.
I mean, if you drink and the other person doesn't drink, you can still go out. Like,
it's
gonna be pretty weird after 3 drinks.
Well, come on, Craig. You can't be just pounding down beers on a date. What? You have not been on a date in a long time, my friend.
Back to Annie, back to her venues, please.
I'm a make it short and sweet. Like,
I agree. Let's figure it out. See if there's something there.
I'm a coffee date. I'm a walk. I like walks. Like, let's go on a little walk. Let's go. Like, because I think it's kind of awkward sometimes. You're just sitting there. Everyone's trying to just paint this picture of what their life is. Like, just go on a little hike or a walk or something.
Girls like the hikes nowadays. They like the first time hikes. You're doing something, you could, you know what I'm saying? Like you could talk. You don't have
to just sit there and like stare at each other and
there's
be
no
awkward eating.
Weird, awkward like contact in some way. They're not like breaking each other down. They're just like walking and talking and getting to know the person. Hikes have been very popular in this day and age.
Yeah.
So you said hike and we got hikes. You don't mind the coffee date. So Cody, you could catch in on the coffee date.
People they're not thinking big enough if they're poo-pooing that. Like,
I think that's generational, isn't it, Annie? Like,
you don't have to go all out in the first
We're not the same, but like if you're a little bit older, a coffee date makes a ton of sense. Maybe if you're in your 20s.
We have three different generations represented here right now.
Exactly, because Braden, I feel like your generation is going to want, like, they're going to be like, it's like you want to be wined and dined, right? Like that's like the thing.
There's a lot of girls that definitely like that stuff, but like to me, you can't make the first one so great. Then you got to top it like for second, third, and fourth. Like you can't go all out in the first one. because one of the guys in the chat, his name's Sam, and he goes like, "Oh, I kick ass on the first date. I don't get second dates, but I know they enjoy the first date." I'm like, well, hold on a second. If you were really good on the first
maybe
date,
they didn't enjoy it that much.
You would, yeah, exactly. You would have got a second date. I think you're wowing them too much. I think you got to go simple on the first one.
So I
agree with that.
Adam in here in the chat is saying I would say hard no on bowling.
Really?
I heard bowling was a good one.
Bowling is going to be all about the attitude you bring to the lanes. Because just tell me if I'm wrong, Annie, but I'm imagining if you show up at a first date and they say, well, let's go bowling. That'll be fun.
Well, now your shoes. Now you're like, you put all this time
let's go to
shoes.
Mira Mesa. Let's go bowling.
They
might have to know that ahead of time. It would have to be like, don't surprise someone with it.
It'd have to be like but it'd have to be like one of those, the bowling, like the
I got one word for you.
Like a tavern and bowl, right?
Wrist guard.
Yes.
Wrist guard.
Wrist guard.
You show up your first date and he's like, let's go bowling. And then he turns up, he's got his own bowling ball. He's got his own shoes and he's got a wrist guard.
I'm walking out.
Ready to go.
I'm
walking
gone.
out.
Yeah, me too.
That was like my mom one time. She was telling me when she was
a setup, man.
Right?
My mom one time said she went on a date with a guy, obviously before she met my dad and stuff like that. And before they he picked her up and he put on driving gloves, like gloves to drive his car. And my mom immediately was like, it's not gonna happen. Just like I
like bowling though. Bowling would be a fun little date. I think that'd be I would still like that.
I
would want to know ahead of time.
Yeah,
hey,
you
gotta bowling.
But then you gotta process the whole you gotta be fun though. You can't be competitive, right? You can't, and I'm a very competitive person, so I gotta have to gauge with the girl the first couple of weeks, like, all right,
this is my point.
Is she competitive? Because if she's competitive, there's some friendly banter you can have there.
Yeah.
If she's not, then I'm an ass. And then it's not fun anymore.
And she's telling all her friends about how you were making fun of her and you took her to a place.
You're trying to beat her in mini golf. It's like, all right, dude, calm down.
This is so Animal Kingdom to me. It's man will show he is strong and good at thing. So it's just like the lions out there. Look, I brought home the kill back to the pride. So if you're on a first date and you're taking someone to something you think you're good at,
yes,
you're taking them bowling, you're taking them to the billiards hall because you're good at pool, right? Like that's probably not the message you want to be delivering on a first date is look at me, I am good at this thing.
I also feel that way about spending a lot of money. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, maybe you don't take them to maybe you do. Maybe you have a great date at McDonald's. I don't know, but I'm saying there's probably some kind of happy medium. Like I don't think you have to. If you're leading with, I just have to spend a lot of money, and then the girl's gonna like me. Like I just don't think
breweries. And Cutwater are very, very much in my wheelhouse for a first, because it's super simple. You could get drinks, so if it sucks, it's not like you're stuck for dinner.
Yeah, you need an escape
right?
route.
I think, and the other thing
the guy does too.
Right, but I set it up where there's an escape route for both. I don't want my time wasted either. If they're not interested, it's let's just move on. Let's go on to the next thing. So I'm super into the breweries. What's been very popular, I've noticed on dating apps, is girls wanting to get into golf. And teach me how to golf. Teach me how to golf. So I feel like that's later down the road. You're not gonna go golfing on a first date.
No,
because I'm gonna break something because my golf game is not very good. The one place I've already said I will never take a girl to softball ever. I will never, ever, unless we're married and she has nothing else to do.
Even then,
you're not allowed to go. Because I've had girls before that have look, can I go to softball? No, you're not. You do not want to go to softball. Do not go to softball.
Goat yoga. Just this conversation has made us into bowling snobs, I think.
No.
That's not a first date.
That's not
down the road.
That's what I'm saying. And it's about you too. You could be an incredible first date, Annie, at a bowling alley, as long as you come in with this, I don't really care about bowling.
You're cool, man. You're like the big
you're like a little bit sly.
You gotta be like Lebowski.
A little bit, I'm over it. I'm here, it's fun, but I'm not into this. You know what I mean?
Order a white Russian at the bar.
You have to
be winking at it.
Right, exactly. And isn't it also, it's you know, it's about the company you're with sometimes. But at first date, it's kind of hard. It's you do need a little help from like the environment a little bit sometimes. A movie, I wouldn't do a movie.
No, you can't do. No, that's
no, that's
because then
bad.
you don't get to talk. You're just sitting there watching a movie.
Yeah.
That's not a very good date spot.
Yeah. Adam, I just want to be clear in the chat. We're not dissing your first date. I'm sure it was great. You did it right, man. You're the guy who pulled off bowling as a first date.
Jesse Garcia said, I met my wife bowling. So
Jesse did it too.
See, look at that.
You're not that guy. You're not wrist guard guy. You didn't show up to the first date and go, well, by the way, I just found these brand new Mach 3.7 shoes brought to you by Spodaboo, and put them on while you're adjusting your wrist guard. Like, well, by the way, not for nothing. I averaged 245 with 16 strikes. Like
super out on the skydiving.
Definitely not. Nothing that is life trauma shocking.
That is part of my.
That's a fifth date.
My Hinge profile.
Good luck jumping out of the plane.
Making fun of all the girls that have skydiving pictures, which is literally most of the girls that are on dating apps have jumped out of a perfectly good airplane.
Oh my gosh,
I can't handle that. No, I'm not jumping out of a plane.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we may actually discuss some sports, but we really don't have to. I enjoyed the show much better like this. Coming up at 12:45, Silly Games. Silly Games is coming up. Your chance to qualify for the grand prize at the end of the month, and a trip for two to the Westgate in Las Vegas, and tickets to see Air Supply. We're playing Hot Potato today, the competitive lists game where we go back and forth. And it's best 2 out of 3 wins. I have no idea
how to play this, by the way.
Here's how to play it.
It's very simple.
Let's name World Series champions in the 2010s.
Let's make it even simpler.
The Rangers.
There you go.
There you go.
Wait, no, the Rangers didn't do it. They won last year.
Okay.
Are we in the 2000?
Name me a chocolate. Annie, name me a chocolate.
This is a better game.
Name me a chocolate. Name me a chocolate.
Like
any chocolate. Name me a chocolate.
I just said Hershey's.
Good, Craig.
Reese's.
Annie.
Butterfinger.
Craig.
Snickers.
Annie.
Kit Kat.
Craig.
Three Musketeers.
I mean, that's the concept of the game.
Yeah. Till someone drops.
Right.
Till someone's wrong or someone drops.
You guys
2 out of 3
win.
wins.
Well done.
This game would be more fun if we had a hot potato and we threw it at each other.
You know what would be even better is if we had maybe a really cool anthem for it. Like maybe something like a children's anthem.
No, I'm going to cut your mic off.
Wiggles.
I'm going to go to break.
Time out.
Go to break.
We got to take a break. It's Andy and Austin on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.